You know, it's pretty wild when you think about it, but we spend something like 90% of our lives indoors. And yet, how often do we actually think about the air we're breathing in all that time? We just kind of take it for granted. Well, that is all about to change in a really big way.
No, I'm serious. Take a second. The air in the room with you right now, is it clean? And maybe the bigger question is, how would you even know? This simple, powerful question is what's sparking a complete revolution in how we think about our buildings.
For decades, the whole approach to indoor air was, well, pretty basic. If a room felt a little stuffy, the answer was just to bring in some more air from outside. Simple, right? But with all the new challenges we're facing, wildfire smoke drifting for thousands of miles, new viruses, chemicals off-gassing from our furniture, that old playbook just doesn't cut it anymore. We need a much, much smarter strategy.
So let's break down what this shift really looks like. The old way, on the left, was all about simple dilution. Basically, just airing the place out to get rid of smells, following a simple checklist. But the new way, it's a whole different ballgame. We're now focused on performance and health. That means we're actively targeting specific harmful pollutants and, crucially, we're demanding measurable proof that the air is actually clean.
And the blueprint for this new era has a name. It's a standard from ASHRAE. They're the group of engineers who set the standards for heating and air conditioning, and it's called 621-2025. And believe me, this isn't just some minor tweak. It's a complete, top-to-bottom overhaul of how we have to design ventilation for our buildings.
And this quote really says it all. The key words here are performance-based and health-centric. The goal is no longer just to check a box and meet a minimum code. The goal is to create indoor spaces that actively protect and even promote our health. It's a huge change in philosophy.
To make this whole thing easier to implement, they've completely reorganized the standard itself. And it's so smart, it now just follows the logical path that air takes as it moves through a building. From the moment it's brought in from the outside, through the cleaning and filtration process, to how it's distributed, and finally how it's exhausted. It just makes so much more sense for the people designing these systems.
Okay, so what does this performance-based approach actually mean in practice? Well, it all starts by getting really serious about those tiny, invisible particles that we're breathing in every single day. We're talking about something called PM 2.5. This is the really nasty, microscopic stuff. The fine particles in wildfire smoke, industrial pollution, even viruses that are just hitching a ride on tiny airborne droplets. And because they're so small, they can slip right past our body's natural defenses and get directly into our bloodstream. That's where they can cause some really serious health problems. So, to fight this, the new standard drops the hammer. It sets a much, much stricter design limit for PM 2.5 inside a building. The new number is just 9 micrograms per cubic meter, and that brings it right in line with the EPA's tough new air quality standards that just came out in 2024.
And this chart just shows you what a big deal this is. We're going from a limit of 12 all the way down to 9. That 25% reduction is huge. In practice, it means that for a lot of buildings, the old standard filters just aren't going to cut it anymore. High-efficiency filters, things like a MERV 13, are pretty much going to be the new baseline.
And it gets even more precise. For the first time, the standard says designers have to account for air density. So, whether your building is in high-altitude Denver or at sea level down in Miami, this rule ensures you're getting the same effective amount of fresh air. It closes a loophole that could lead to underventilation in some places.
Now here's where things get really fascinating. The standard doesn't just say, use better filters. It completely changes the rules of the game for how we measure filter performance over its entire life.
This all ties into a concept called the Indoor Air Quality Procedure, or IAQP. Okay, so instead of just constantly pumping in tons of outside air, which you have to pay to heat up or cool down, this procedure lets you clean the air that's already inside the building. This can slash the need for outdoor air by 30 to 60%, which saves a massive amount of energy. But it only works if you can trust your air cleaning technology. And here's the catch, the big gotcha. What really matters isn't how well a filter works on day one, right out of the box. The problem is that a lot of common filters actually get less efficient as they get dirty. Their cleaning power can just plummet over time.
And that's why this new standard introduces a total game changer. It's a rule called End of Useful Life Efficiency, or EOL. From now on, designers can't use the shiny brand new performance rating for a filter. Nope. They have to use the filter's efficiency rating from when it's fully loaded with dust and dirt. They have to design for the real world.
And this table just lays it out perfectly. You see, some types of filters, like what's called charge media, they start out great, but their performance can fall off a cliff. But other technologies, like certain electrostatic filters, are designed to hold on to that high efficiency for their entire life. This new rule basically forces the industry to shift toward these more reliable, long-lasting technologies.
The standard also locks in two other really important safety upgrades. First, to get smarter about preventing mold, it changes the focus from just relative humidity to managing the dew point, which is a much more accurate predictor of moisture problems. And second, it brings in a strict zero ozone rule, which means any air cleaning device that creates harmful ozone as a byproduct is now banned. Period.
But this new blueprint isn't just about making the air we breathe better on a normal day. It's about building in resilience. It's about making sure our buildings can actually protect us when the world outside gets dangerous.
So, for the very first time, buildings will be required to have emergency modes built right into their design. So, if there's a big wildfire smoke event, the system has to be able to automatically shut down the intake of outside air to keep that pollution out. And it also has to be able to flip into a special infection risk management mode to help slow the spread of airborne viruses during a health crisis.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, it's clear this standard is so much more than just a technical document. It's really a call to action. It's pushing the entire building industry to innovate and come up with smarter, more sustainable, and just flat-out better ways to give us clean, healthy air.
What this all represents is a future where our health is no longer an afterthought when we design a building, but a central, guiding principle from day one. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? As all our new buildings start getting this smart, what about the air in the spaces we're already in?